And welcome immediately back to the very next episode. We're not starting on the title screen for once, because this is basically just following on from the last one, while I dance in place. Delicious water. Fine, fine water. Okay, so 10, 11, 12. I'm sure the maths geniuses in the audience are probably screaming their beautiful, beautiful lungs out right now. So what I need to do is get two of them up to roughly the same level and then work from there. So I want to get two of them down to the same one. I'm inclined to say that maybe if I bring this like all the way down to the bottom. Oh, that cannot work. I see. Ooh. Maybe this can work. 9, 12, 12. Nope, that'll break. Wait. 11. 11. Oh! He's the world's greatest genius! Oh. I guess I'll, oh, right, I'm probably going to do the other rooms first. Okay, 976, I think it was. 531. 531. Salt. Gotta salt the salt. You right there, partner? Salt! Mm-hmm. Pull lever. $976. 976. Yeah, was that right? What was that? It was 976, yeah. And this was not right, it's not right. All wrong. Temperature, it's not right. It's all wrong. Not right at all. Alright then, dear. All wrong! This is 190, I think? The temperature reads 93 degrees. It's a bin of coal with a shovel in it. Take that shovel. Yeah! Alrighty. It's a bellows pointed at the furnace. Add some coal. You pump up the bellows. The coal burns away. The vinegar burns away, and the vinegar heats up by 2 degrees. Pump away the bellows. The coal burns away. The vinegar burns away, and the vinegar heats up by 14 degrees. We've got to get this up to 190. 32 degrees. 42 degrees. Ooh. 10 degrees, dang it! Some steam is released. 183 degrees. 5 degrees. 5 degrees. So this is more of a maths problem. $10 degrees. Okay, so 1 coal. 5 degrees. Okay, I'm noticing a trend. There's no coal in front of me. 5 degrees, huh? Is that going to be consistent? 178 degrees. What about if I go with 3 shovelfuls of coal? 16 degrees. Same thing. 15 degrees. So there's a ton. There's a tiny degree of randomness here, I'm noticing. Degrees, huh? Oh, that's insufferable. Degrees. What if, though? What if I just had one? He's the world's greatest man! Salt is still right? Wait. Yep. And the hoppers are all still the same? Oh, yeah. Oh! You pull the machine lever. There is a deafening roar as the old machine springs to life. After a while, a load of pickles is deposited in the receptacle to the left. You got 3 ghost pickles. This is the ghost of a pickle, brined in mystery and vinegar. Makes you difficult to damage for the rest of the day by turning you into a spooky ghost. That sounds really cool. Huh, all that work for 3 pickles. No wonder this place went out of business. The ghost from the cucumber room drifts through the door, gives you a grateful look, then clatters to the floor as it's replaced with a pile of bones. You got an item, pile of bones and cucumbers. It's probably 40% bones and 60% cucumbers if you had to guess. Etched into the skin of one of the cucumbers you see the same phrase, all the same, all the same, all the same. The ghost from the salt room drifts through the door, gives you a grateful look, then collapses into a pile of remains. You got an item, salt-crusted skull. This skull bears the marks of prolonged and very strange torture. Etched into the back of the skull is the number 976. The ghost from the vinegar room drifts through the door, gives you a grateful look, then vanishes in a puff of bones. You got an item, vinegar-soaked bones. These bones are all rubbery because they've been soaked in vinegar. Gross. You can faintly make out the number 190 scratched into one of the bones. Yikes. Yep. Well, that was a thing. This door just leads to an empty, dusty room. Huh, you could have sworn there was a bunch of cucumber storage tubs in there before. Ooh. This door just leads to an empty, dusty room. Huh, you could have sworn there was a big tank of pickle brine in there before. And a ghost. This door just leads to an empty room. Huh, you could have sworn there was a vinegar tank and boiler in there. And why would you make something like that up? Exactly, why would I do such a completely inconceivable and ridiculous thing? Alrighty, looks like we're going back to town! Hey buddy, you got any more stock in? Nothing that I want. Toasted. Yay, people. Nope. Dang it. Jail. Well, howdy there. Got another bounty for me? Give her the pickle family remains. What in the world? It's the Gherkin brothers, and please, I don't want to talk about it. It was really weird. I believe you. Here's the reward. Huh. Looks like these things are still twitching. Better lock them up just to be safe. Thanks a bundle. How's everything going along in my favorite set of cells? Oh, that's just hilarious. Okay, so we got one more cell. It's... Just wanted to say hi. Hi. Well, I best be getting back to work. Okay, so it's still the, still that one group. Now, remind me, what was I trying to... What did I need for them? Was it like a... Was it nails? I think it was. Like nails and a hammer. Hot dog. Not available. Alrighty, back to the map. Well, while I'm here, I might as well go to the silversmith's house. You've crossed paths with Wander and Sally again. Howdy, Klaudsheal. Interested in trading? You bet. Okay, lady, I remember you had... Did you have something on? The lock! The lock was what I needed. The padlock got its name because it's like a wizard that protects your house. Bye! Woo! Do I have a pickaxe? Pretty sure I have a pickaxe. I do have a pickaxe. But you know what? A second pickaxe is incredibly useful. Basically because I don't know when I'm going to melt another pickaxe. Okay. Skeleton bones. Work boots. Lucky marigold. Don't need that. Blank postcard. This is a blank postcard. Maybe you should write to your family back home in case you don't know. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, alright. Bar of soap. You have one of these. Apple. Apples are alright. Nope, I reckon that'll do me just fine, Wandering Sally. Thanks very much. I will stop rubbing my top hat against your face. Alrighty. Onward! Let's go back. Oop. Your El Vibrato transponder starts making that bleeping noise that means there's either treasure or a monster nearby. It turns out to be a monster. Nuts. Fortunately, it doesn't seem to have noticed you. Oh, it'll notice this. It'll notice when I absolutely shoot him in the face. Oh, boy. El Vibrato scraps. Have I got enough El Vibrato scraps? I have 4. I think I needed 6. 6 was the magic number. Let's go to the post office. One of those newfangled telegraph machines. Oops. Well, I'd like to send a postcard. You've already sent a postcard today. Ain't you heard of the Postcard Limitation Act of 1893? No, what is it? Okay, so the government put a restriction on prepaid postcards of 1 citizen per day. Now, why do you think that might be? Well, to reduce strain on the postal system. Nope, that's what everyone guesses, but that ain't a thing. The wagons still make the trip, no matter how many postcards on board. Less we're talking so many postcards, you only need a second wagon. But that ain't likely. So, to restrict the free flow of information, to keep the people from being able to say too much through the mail, so the left end of the territory don't know what the right end is doing, and vice versa. That way they can implement a different rule of law in each area, whatever's most effective to keep the particular folk down. But people can still send letters? Pfft, letters? Who's got time to write out a whole letter in this day and age? But I ain't even got the real big part yet. What's the first 2 letters in conspiracy, huh? Jeez. That's right. They're in league with the cows. It's all a plot to keep us docile so they can deliver us up to these hell cows before they're summoned. You'd think the government deliberately summoned the cows? There's proof. The plan was referred to in the rider attached to a Senate Farm Aid bill that was passed 11 years ago. And when did the cows come home? That's right, 11 years. There's no way a Senate bill says let's summon cows from hell on it. Oh, no, not in such obvious words. Are you cracked? It's all in code and dog whistles. Like, go look it up for yourself. Okay, even if I wanted to do that, the capital city isn't even in this territory. It's hundreds of miles away. Uh-huh. You think that's a coincidence? A CO-incidence? Okay, well, that's very interesting. Bye now. That is amazing dialogue. I'm annoyed because I get the feeling that in order to receive any mail back, I probably have to go to the next day. But that would get rid of all of my little boosties for 2 days. And I quite like the shot pie full of holes maximum pistol damage. I'm pretty sure that's completely carrying me right now. Now, Silversmith's house, take 2. Okay. It's weird that a silversmith would leave his tools out in the open like this. Bullets is all anyone uses silver for anymore. Fella probably got sick of doing it. Sign that says, silver bullet making apparatus. Help yourself. I will help myself. This workbench has a little burner and crucible for melting silver things and some bullet molds. It seems pretty straightforward. There's also a vise, so you could smash silver bullets if you needed to. You don't have anything silver to make into bullets. Make needles. Silver bullet. You know what? Remind me. Leave. Remind me. What does the silver bullet do? What? Silver bullet. Deals extra damage against cows and other demonic creatures. You know what? I have way more use for needles. You squeeze the bullet into a vice a bunch of times to make some crude needles. You get an item needle too. Oh, cool! I'll make another one and keep one silver bullet. Sweet! I have like a bunch of needles now. I'm really happy. This door is locked. Pick the knock. So I'm gonna need that. Go inside. Silversmith's house. Inside. A twin bed. Silversmith must have been a bachelor or a half-wit guy with a half-wit spout. This bookshelf contains like 90 copies of Johnny Tremaine. There's something weird about it though. It's too neatly organized. Like maybe the guy was hiding something. Search for secrets. Tucked behind one of the books, you find a small envelope filled with receipts. About half of them are from a shop called the Silver Platter. He was crooked! The Silver Plater. He was crooked. The silversmith was selling cheap fakes. Oh well, he's gone now, so are most of his customers. No sense in stirring up trouble at this point. You write down the location of the shop. Might come in handy. You've discovered a new location, the Silver Plater. Let's hit the road. This shelf looks pretty picked over. You find a couple of things that still look edible. Beefy. There's a note on the safe reading, I forgot the darn combination for this confounded thing. If you can open it, you're welcome to what's inside it. Looks like a tricky one. I do not have safe cracking. I don't even have the capacity for safe cracking. Oh, but I certainly have the capacity to deploy Snake. Woo! Deadeye. Pistol damage. Lock picking. Oh, I should really probably save up for lock picking instead. Well, I could. I'm gonna give myself an extra gumption instead. Alright. We just gonna bust in and loot the joint? That's okay. Look at the dust all over everything. This guy checked that ages ago. Fair enough. Let's do it. Oh, hello. A spittoon. At least, it looks like a spittoon, but it's next to the bed. It might actually be a bedpan. Investigate it. What? Really? I mean, if it's just a spittoon, that's bad enough, but it might be a bedpan, and that would be way worse. Investigate it. I feel like maybe you aren't getting what I'm saying. We're talking about an object that someone probably uses when they wake up in the middle of the night and can't be bothered to walk to the outhouse. And the best you can hope for is they only use it to spit nighttime tobacco juice into, in which case it's only full of rancid, congealing tobacco spit. I'm investigating it. Are you even listening to me, or are you just sort of skimming past the text? Bedpan. I'm pretty sure there's treasure in there, and you aren't stopping me. Bedpan. Shut up. I'm investigating. Okay, fine, have it your way. Your own filthy, disgusting way. It turns out to probably not be a bedpan, but it is definitely a spittoon, and it's definitely filled with rotting brown spit. Fish around in it. What is wrong with you? Bite me. Oh, good God, okay. You plunge your hand in up to the wrist. It makes a gloop noise and breaks the thin skin of congealing toxins that was previously keeping the dire smell in relative check. Now that you are choking in a miasma of oily, bitter chalk stick. You know that feeling you get when you're about to puke? How you get that taste way back in the rear corners of your mouth, that metallic tang by the root of your tongue like you're sucking on a corroded old penny? Just tell me what I found already. You found a filthy, slime-covered old brooch. Are you happy? I bet you're going to put it on without even washing it first. You got an item, revolting brooch. That's actually great. This brooch would be much better if it weren't, would be much smaller if it weren't for the thick layer of tarnish and dried tobacco spit. Maybe I will, so there! Oh, Lord. This game is amazing. I love it. Okay, let's see what we got here. Oh, that's probably a sign it's time for me to wrap this episode up. 2 spell damage, no good. Dude, that is like 100% just an objectively better thing. That's amazing. I'm super keen. Oh boy, I am becoming slowly world's most repulsive individual, and, you know, I'm just saying that in-game, because in real life, I'm an absolute fucking showboat. What are you talking about? Okay, last step for today, I think, will be Shaggy Dog Cave. As you're riding down the trail, a dirty urchin jumps out, points a toy pistol at you, and demands that you pay the toll by doing 20 push-ups. Pay the boy. Satisfied by your demonstration of upper body strength, the child allows you to pass without pretending to shoot you. Yay! Shaggy Dog Cave. Shaggy Dog Cave? Who picks the names for these places? Seems like maybe they started running out of ideas. Like the next one will be Several Birds Cave. Some kind of horse cabin. Oh, Susie, you're even hilarious in this game. A pig or whatever, God. Oh, lordy. Okay, into the hole. Interesting, so Susie's actually coming in with me. That's unusual. Some fella was real into plaques. Think they're important? Only one way to find out. Yeah, I guess. There's a plaque bolted to the cave wall here. A record of the events of Expedition to and into Shaggy Dog Cave, November 1887, as recorded by Jim Clarkwright. Okay. There's a plaque bolted to the cave wall here. Having acquired through various and sundry means a story which is interesting in its own right, but better saved for another time, a map purporting to lead to a large cache of jewels and ingots of precious metals hidden by the infamous highwayman and train robber Black Cole Jr. in the years before the cows came home, I, Jim Clarkwright, along with 3 compatriots, these being Nathaniel Wyman, Cyrus Howard, and Douglas Watts, set out to find Shaggy Dog Cave and the aforementioned treasure. Our equipment and provisions consisted of 1 cart, a horse to pull it, 4 additional horses to be ridden, 2 shovels, a spade, a mining pick, a large coil of rope, 1 large basket of eggs, as well as an assortment of other trail provisions and cookware, my own collection of blank plaques and engraving tools, and 1 very large and shaggy dog, and a butt for. What's a butt for? Because I can only imagine it's for playing with, but what's a butt for? On a related note, I am getting the distinct impression. After travelling for 2.5 days to the south and east, we arrived at a small town named Dirtwater, the largest settlement in the vicinity of Shaggy Dog Cave. Leaving the dog to watch the horses, the 4 of us entered a local saloon, and each ordered a beer, except Cy, who was satisfied with water. The barman provided our drinks as requested, and then withdrew a small wooden box from underneath the bar, asking us if we'd care to witness something really interesting. Considering that we still had quite a few hours left to travel, we politely declined, and asked him if he knew the way to Shaggy Dog Cave. He replied that he had never been there personally, but gave us the rough directions, which correlated nicely with the notes on our map. Now, I'm just putting it out there. I'm pretty sure. Upon leaving the saloon, we discovered to our dismay that some unknown villain had tampered with our wagon. Fortunately, the only supplies missing were the butt for, the entire basket of eggs, apart from that one that Doug had concealed within a pocket for safekeeping. We also discovered that the dog had absconded with one of the horses, forcing Nate and Cy, after drawing lots, to share. I'm pretty sure this fascinatingly detailed story is going to have the payoff that there is no treasure and this entire thing was a waste of time. So, know that I will end the video when I finish reading all these plaques. If you enjoy the sound of me narrating endlessly, then feel free to continue watching. Otherwise, I will see you in the next episode. After acquiring a barrel of fresh water for the trip, as well as a replacement butt for, we headed out into the open desert. The sun shone down mercilessly upon us, though we took a small solace in the fact that it would have been far more intolerable had we made this expedition during the summer months rather than November. Hey, November, my birthday month. In order to pass the time on the trip and resist becoming dazed from the heat and susceptible to desert migraines, we exchanged stories of our youth, which I will not be retelling here for reasons of length. However, I will relate to you 3 odd occurrences that happened to us during our trek through the desert.
The first was 2 or 3 hours out of Dirtwater when Nate noticed the glint of sunlight upon a metallic object partially buried in the sand. This was revealed to be a brass oil lamp of foreign design and manufacture, which fortuitously still contained a quantity of oil. Deciding this might come in handy, we stashed it in the wagon with our other tools. Our next encounter was with a nomadic goblin tribesman, who we discovered spoke excellent English. It inquired as to our destination, and we replied that we were looking for Shaggy Dog Cave, though we did not disclose the reason for our journey. The goblin confirmed that we were heading on the correct course, had mentioned that he had only a short time earlier witnessed a large and shaggy dog riding a horse in the same direction. We all agreed this was an unusual sight indeed, and continued on our way. Sometime later, we encountered a large adobe hut, occupied by 2 seemingly identical seeming old men with wild hair and long beards. They invited us to take shelter from the heat, which we gratefully accepted, and introduced themselves as hermits. This struck me as peculiar, given that there were 2 of them, but I felt it would be rude to question them on that point. One of the hermits confirmed that we were near Shaggy Dog Cave, and the other hermit confirmed that what his brother said was true. They also commented that they had seen a large and shaggy dog riding a horse in that direction. We all agreed this was an unusual sight indeed. The hermits refreshed our water supply in exchange for our butt-for, and we continued on our way, excited to be nearing our goal. Speaking of refreshing water supply... Oh, that's good H2O. After 2 more hours, we finally arrived at Shaggy Dog Cave. Carefully keeping our excitement in check lest we become incautious, we unloaded our equipment and supplies from the wagon and took a brief respite in the cool shade of the cave entrance. To celebrate our arrival, Doug unpocketed and shared the egg he had saved from our basket that had been stolen in Dirtwater. Once we were rested, we decided the time had come to explore the cave. Discovering that we had neglected to pack torches, lanterns, or any other light source with which to illuminate the cave, we declared that it was indeed fortuitous that Nate had discovered the antique oil lamp during our troubles. He gave the brass a quick shine and then lit the wick, and we were relieved to discover that it lit easily and provided a very adequate amount of light. As we headed into the cave, we were further encouraged by the fact that the floor was quite even and easy to traverse, and there were no side passages that might cause us to become lost. Despite this, I resolved to hang a number of plaques to mark our progress through the cave and engrave them with the tale of our journey, such that others who discovered the cave after us might be entertained and edified by our story. Soon we came to the end of the tunnel. While Nate, Cy, and Doug took turns with the excavation, I completed the last of the aforementioned plaques. It was a matter of perhaps an hour before Cy's shovel struck a wooden surface with a hollow noise, and we hauled a traditionally styled treasure chest out of the hole with great excitement. The chest was locked with an ancient and rusting iron padlock, which broke easily from a single swing of our pickaxe. We opened the lid slowly, and the flickering light of the antique oil lamp shone brilliantly upon jewels of every colour, and shining ingots of precious metals, just as promised by the legends of Black Coal Jr. Joyous at our triumph, we loaded the chest into our wagon and began the journey back home. Thank you for reading this, and may your own endeavours be equally successful. Signed, Jim Clarkwright. It's a hole, a completely empty one. Well, thank you very much for the sticking around this far, if indeed you have. I believe that we have gone, we've gone almost 10 whole minutes over time as far as the specifics of this adventure are concerned. But, as soon as we get back to the entrance of this cave, I can tell you that we are going to be finishing up this episode. I think that was quite a good little gag, and I can imagine that quite a few people who didn't see it coming were probably incredibly frustrated by it. That's a lot more plaques than I remember there being. Golly goodness. Anywho, lovely being with you all. I'm going to wrap up for this evening. I hope you've enjoyed this latest episode. See you next time.